What's going on, people? Welcome back to another first time watchers of the month video, August edition today. Let's get into it. I kicked off the month with The Naked Gun, and this is exactly what we need right now. Dumb, slapstick, over-the-top comedies that just want to make you laugh. Everyone was having a great time, laughing their heads off. It's one of the best cinema experiences I've ever had. Liam Neeson is so good in this film, as well as Pamela Anderson, and those two have really good chemistry. I just had a really good time with this movie. The plot is nothing great, the characters are nothing great as well, but did it make me laugh numerous times? You betcha. So definitely please go and watch The Naked Gun. It deserves your time and money. It's a great time at the cinema. And then I watched War of the Worlds. I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? It's such a bad movie. It's so irredeemable, but my god, did I have a great time with it. I was laughing my head off. It was so funny. Ice Cube as this government hacker was so unrealistic, but my god, was it hilarious. You need to go and watch this film, guys. It's a movie so bad it has to be seen to be believed. And then I watched Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch. Surprisingly, I actually really like this film. Now, it's only just over an hour long, but I think it fits in a really nice story really well. Basically, Stitch is going to become evil again gradually, and Jumbo has to try and stop that from happening, and it really just tests his and Lilo's friendship a lot, and it led to some really emotional moments. And I really like how Lilo tries to help Stitch through her own ways. It's really common for a kid to try and help someone in their own way, and I think they did that really well in this movie. The animation was a lot better, the voice acting was great, and it wasn't boring like Stitch the movie. So I actually really enjoyed Lilo and Stitch 2, nowhere near as good as the original film, but still a really good time. And then I watched Freaky Friday, and I really enjoyed this movie. This was a really good mother and daughter movie with some body swapping in there. Jamie Lee Curtis is really good in this movie. Lindsay Lohan, I know this is probably a hot take. I don't think she was that good in this movie. I don't think she pulled off Jamie Lee Curtis's personality that well. But still, her and Curtis had some really good chemistry, and it made the mother and daughter aspect of this film work really well for me. It's very wacky, it's very funny. The music is an absolute bop. I especially love that I Don't Want to Grow Up song. There's some really fun moments. This is definitely a watch if you want to have a good time. And then I watched Freakier Friday. I didn't think this was as good as the original film. It does have plenty of story problems, mainly the fact that it has way too much going on, and when it focuses on Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis's characters, we're basically just watching the characters go through the same exact movie as the first film. But when it focused on the younger people, I was really into the movie because it actually felt like a proper sequel and not like a rehash to the original. Surprisingly, the humour was a lot better in this film than the previous film. Technically, it is a little bit bland. It's trying to look like a 2000s movie with the cheapness of the CGI and the sets, but it just went a little bit too cheap. I expected a lot better. The acting though is still really good. Lohan is far better in this movie than she was in the original, and her and Curtis still have really good chemistry, and I think the two younger girls were really good in this movie too. So I had a good time with Freaky Air Friday. It's nowhere near as good as the original. It does have some story issues, but I still had a good time at least. Then I watched The Bad Guys. My friend kept nagging me to see this film, and I eventually gave in, and I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed this movie. It does have its issues like bad jokes. Seriously, how many fart jokes do you need in this movie? The plot twists are very obvious if you think about them for 1 second, but all in all, I did still enjoy this movie, and that's mainly thanks to the charismatic characters. This movie has a really nice flow to it because it never stops, it never slows down, it just keeps going, so this movie was never boring. But the best part about this movie was easily the animation. I love how it looks like a 3D comic book brought to life by mixing in standard kids animation designs with some Spider-Verse animation, and the voice acting was also really good too, especially Sam Rockwell as Mr. Wolf. I thought he had some proper swagger to him, so I enjoyed The Bad Guys. I did have a few story issues in there and the jokes as well, but I still had a really good time, and I will definitely check out the sequel when I can. And then I watched Weapons. I've actually seen this movie twice. I saw it again a couple days ago because I love this movie so much. It's one of the best movies of the year. Zach Greger is proving himself time and time again that he's one of the best horror directors working today. I just love movies like this where they introduce a really compelling mystery, so you really want to know where it goes, and I think for the most part the answers to those questions were really satisfying. I also also love the structure of this movie and how it focuses on different characters in different chapters, planting scenes which eventually culminate to the ending where all the plots merge. Technically, the film's great as well. Craig has always been really good at tampering with your expectations when it comes to scares. You think a scare's going to come from this doorway, but then it turns away and then blah, there's a jump scare. And I think the acting is really good in this movie as well. Craig is a really exciting director. I think he's going to absolutely kill it with that new Resident Evil movie. He's one of the best horror directors working today, and I cannot wait to see what he's got in store for us next. And then I saw Fixed. Do you like constant jokes about balls? Do you like constant sex jokes that make you cringe into oblivion? Then Fixed is the movie for you. Yeah, I didn't really like this movie. It does have some positives. For one, I do think the animation is really good, and it's just nice to see a hand-drawn 2D animated movie come out like this. I thought the voice actors did a decent job with the material they were given, and there were a few jokes when they weren't focused on sex that were actually really funny, but other than that, I just thought this movie was incredibly boring. Most of the jokes weren't funny because they're just continuous sex jokes about dogs' balls, and then you just see dogs fucking, and it's just like, come on, just give me something different, man. This movie drags as well. It takes about 45 minutes for the actual plot to kick in, so this movie really should have been a short film. So yeah, I really did not like Fixed. It is really nice to see a 2D animated movie come out like this, but still it was not a good movie. And then I watched The Conjuring 2. I'm watching all the Conjuring movies in preparation for the new one, and surprisingly, I think this movie was far better than the original film. The characters are a lot more engaging and sympathetic, and I especially like the art that the Warrens go on. James Wan has always been great at building suspense, and he continues to be great here. Plus, for the most part, the jump scares actually scared me, and even the scares weren't always over. My only issue with the movie was the pacing. This film is just over 2 hours long, and it takes about 45 minutes for the plot to actually get going. I do understand that the first act is there to develop characters and make you like them, but still you could have shortened the runtime a little bit. But other than that, I still really love this film. It's directed and shot brilliantly, and the acting is really, really good, especially from the main young girl. I thought she was really good in this film. So I love The Conjuring 2 on so many levels. It's far more scarier and far more interesting than the original due to its more relatable and engaging characters and story. Let's hope the next two are equally as thrilling. And then I watched Together, and I'm not going to talk about this much whatsoever. This is my second favourite movie of the year. If you want to know why I loved it, go watch my review of it. It is such a good movie, I cannot suggest it enough. It's weird, it's wacky, it goes all over the place, and it just works. Then I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Now I'm a nerd. I don't think I need to clarify that because I think you already know, but I think that gives an indication as to why I really enjoyed this movie. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. He's a big nerd, he likes comic books, he likes superheroes, he's my type of guy, and I'm really into his work. So when I saw this movie on Netflix, I was like, oh, okay, let's give this a watch then. And I really enjoyed this movie. This is a great parody movie of Hollywood and how the internet affects people's views on movies, which is something we can really relate to today. The story is so stupid, and the characters are so dumb as well, but you do understand why they act like they do. And I found this movie extremely funny. I was laughing my head off at many points. Some jokes don't work, and that's mainly when it comes to the women. Yeah, well, unfortunately the film's humour can feel a bit dated at times, especially when it's focused towards women. I understand it's meant to be a parody of Hollywood, but they did take it a little bit too far for me. They just over-sexualised the women in this movie far too much. But still, most of the jokes do work, especially when there's cameos from famous actors. The best part was easily the Good Will Hunting segment, and seeing Mark Hamill play a villain who punches penises. I mean, that's just comedy gold right there. The acting's really good in this movie too. Kevin Smith hardly says a word in this movie, but he is so expressive and has great comedic timing, so I really didn't mind. Jason Mewes was very good as Jay, and he brought the right amount of charisma and dumbness to the role. So I really had a good time with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yes, some of the jokes haven't aged well, but it's a really good parody of the Hollywood system and the internet, so I definitely check this out when you can. And then I watched the original Tron. Yes, I have seen Tron Legacy, and I will defend that movie till my last breath. I think that movie is so sick, but I had never seen the original movie, and seeing as the third film's coming out soon, I thought it's time to watch it. And I gotta say, I didn't really like this movie that much. I certainly do respect it for its special effects. I mean, if it wasn't for this film, who knows what special effects would be like today. But nowadays this film does look really ugly. You can definitely see the limitations for the time, especially in one part where they do a fade and the frame rate just slows down until the fade ends. As for the story though, it's not the best. I did like Kevin Flynn, he's a really good protagonist, mainly because I know what he's like in Legacy and he has plenty of personality in this film, as well as an understandable motivation. Surprisingly, I was really into this film a lot more when it wasn't focused on the grid and the boring computer politics. I especially really liked the ending and how satisfying it was, and it was also a nice gateway into Legacy as well. There were a few moments in the grid that I did like though. For the time, I don't think the action is too bad. I did like seeing the early versions of Disc Wars and the motorbike battles. I also really like the 80s synth music that plays throughout those moments. And finally, the acting is overall okay. Jeff Bridges, I absolutely love this guy. He brings plenty of charisma to this younger version of Kevin Flynn. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen him this lively in a film before. So overall, Tron is just mediocre. Yes, its effects look great for the time, but they really haven't aged well. And overall, I just thought it was kind of boring for the most part. But still, it is very influential, so I do still have to respect it. And then I watched The Life of Chuck, and I absolutely love this film. This is a celebration of life, and it really emphasises the fact that we need to live each day like it's our last. The movie is told backwards, so it starts off with the third act and ends with the first act, and I was a little unsure why it was structured like that, but over time you understand why it is like that, and it really plays into Chuck's character arc really well. The film also looks absolutely beautiful too, especially when it's set at night, and the acting is all absolutely brilliant as well. I absolutely love this movie. It's a great Stephen King adaptation, and it's definitely a film that you need to see as soon as you can. And then I watched The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This is easily my least favourite Conjuring film, but I don't think it was that bad. I actually thought it was pretty good, and I really liked the ambition of it. I think the main reason why people don't really like this film is that it's not really about Ed and Lorraine Warren hunting down and stopping demons. Instead, they're stopping just a normal person who's a Satanist. And I know a lot of people don't really like that because it's not really something that the Warrens do in the films. But I honestly really appreciated it, and it was really different. It put Ed and Lorraine in a situation where they don't feel comfortable, and they have to try and navigate through it through their own devices. And I just thought that was really effective. But I did have issues with this movie, and it's mainly with the script. Of course, it's showing the Devil Made Me Do It case, a real life murder case, and it's trying to show that truthfully, while also adding in some paranormal aspects in there as well. And the script just doesn't really know what it wants to do. Does it want to show the actual murder, or does it want to be a Conjuring movie? I also wasn't a big fan of this movie's scares. One, because there's really not a lot of them. In fact, in the second half of this movie, I counted like one jump scare. And two, the jump scares really aren't that good. They do the cliche thing, there's no sound, and then they turn around and then, yeah, there's the spooky demon or whatever. And it's just so cliche. But the film still does have some really entertaining sequences. There are a few scares that did make me jump, and I did actually like the final showdown in the tunnels. That was really effective. I think the film is shot really good too. I do like the really red lighting throughout this film. I think that was really cool. And of course, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are really good in this film as well. But John Noble, who plays this really creepy ex-priest, I thought he was really good in this movie as well. So I enjoyed The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It just enough, but it is easily the worst of the three. But I do appreciate that it took big swings, even if a lot of people didn't really like what it was trying to do. And then I watched Hollow Road, and it's so upsetting that this movie has basically been swept under the rug, because I absolutely love this movie. It was so thrilling, it had me on the edge of my seat, it takes so many twists and turns. At a certain point in the movie, you have no idea where it's going to go. Rosamund Pike and Matthew Rhys are so good in this movie too, and I absolutely love the ending. And it's a movie where it can be interpreted in many different ways. I certainly have my own interpretation, but I just think any interpretation that you think of just works for this. I absolutely love Hollow Road. You really need to check it out. It's on Apple TV and it's on Google Play Movies as well. please for the love of God support this movie. And finally we have Caught Stealing. The new film from Darren Aronofsky is such a great time. My only main issue is that it was trying to be very serious and very light-hearted at the same time. It didn't really know which tone to pick, but it is a really entertaining Guy Ritchie-like crime movie. The ordinary man swept into this really big over-the-top heist thing. It's just really cool. I love stories like that. It's got some really good humor in there, some really good action scenes, and it's just entertaining from start to finish. And I really hope this movie does well and we get the rest of the trilogy. And there we go, guys. Those are my first time watches of August 2025. Let me know your first time watches of the month in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you later.